Hi there. Welcome to another episode of the Freedom Podcast. I remain your host, Victor. So today we'll be talking about being yourself and loving yourself. So in the previous episode, we spoke about getting to know yourself. And so when you dig in and begin to know yourself, even though it doesn't happen at once, you'll find a bunch of things that you like and some other things that you may not like. You'll find highs and lows and, things about yourself. The truth about yourself. Your values, the things that propel you to go in a certain direction. Things that you're passionate about. A whole lot of things that you will discover. Sometimes, because what you may have discovered is not popular. It's not the things that, the world terms cool. And you tend to, put those things off and pretend to be somebody else. I'm here to tell you today that you need to be yourself. You need to get to know yourself. As you're knowing who you are, start becoming that person. It's a journey. It doesn't happen overnight. But you can be yourself. I think it's one of the hardest things to do today in the world. Actually being yourself. Doing the things that really, really matter to you. The things that you really, really want to do. Being the person that you really, really want to be. I think it's a very difficult thing to do today because everybody's trying to be a celebrity. Everybody's trying to be popular. Everybody's trying to do big things. Everybody's trying to do this or that. And it's perfectly cool. But you have to find the one that, the one that is for you. The thing that you want to do. That is not what, the world terms as, if you do this, then you'll be successful. If you don't do this, then, you have to know who you are, then live your life regardless of whether it's, cool, seemingly, to be that person that you are or weird. If you've discovered some things about yourself that you've not even seen anywhere before, then that makes you all the more unique and beautiful. Even though we may not understand you yet, at the time. But when you keep being yourself, you give us room to learn new things. You give us room to learn that there are people who are like this. Okay, it's strange today to see with the way things are in our economy in Nigeria. You see someone who picks a whole large sum of money and returns it back to the owner untouched. It happens every now and then, but it's a very, very, strange sight because it doesn't happen very often. But if we have not seen those things captured on camera, when you tell somebody that such a thing is possible, we would doubt it, that people like that still exist. Good people still exist, but I'm trying to say is that if you find something that is strangely beautiful about yourself, or something that is kind of a little bit strange from the things that are normal in your own definition or in the definition of the people you find around yourself, it shouldn't stop you from embracing your identity and being yourself. And there has to be balance in everything, because sometimes we tend to take our identity from the things that we do. It's a very popular thing now in the world where they can ask you, who are you, or maybe what do you do? You say, I'm a doctor. It's correct in a sense, but that is not who you really are. That is just what you do. Your profession is not who you are. Your profession is what you say about yourself. It's not just even what you do. What you do is your occupation. Your profession is what you say about yourself. Then who you are is now who you really are when all those other things have been taken away. Your occupation, your profession, the person that remains when everything else has been shaken to the foundations, that is who you are. When you've lost everything, seemingly or in reality, when all those things that you've built your life upon has kind of disappointed you, you see that person that remains, that is who you are. And that's why you cannot find yourself in the busyness of life. You have to take a few steps back and begin to dig deep within yourself. So when you've dug deep within yourself and found a few things, it's very good and important for you to embrace what you found, good or bad. If you found something that is terrible about yourself, it's still who you are. You have a chance to work on it. It's probably in that area of your weakness that you have the most potential to experience God's grace. Like for me, that's how it is for me. In the area of my life where I'm most weakest, that's where I've experienced God's grace the most. That's where I've learned more about God the most. Because it's our imperfections that give us the grace to meet God. It's our weakness that makes it even necessary for us to know that God exists, or that not just that God exists, that's even the wrong thing to say. That God is real to me as a person. It's my weakness that draws me close to God, because without my weakness, I don't have a need for God. Even though I may not know it, having everything, the way I want it, all sufficient, self-sufficient, I would not really know that I have a need for God, or even though He may have been the one that has made everything sufficient for me. Just because I have no consciousness of my weakness or my inadequacy, I would live my life in such a proud way that I would need nobody, I would need not God, So the good and the bad all together, they all work together for our good to make us who we are. And we need to embrace our good side and our bad side, and they complement each other, because without good, there's no bad. They're like different sides of a coin. So whatever you've discovered about yourself, it's important for you to embrace yourself, love yourself, and be yourself. You can't love anyone else if you don't love yourself. You cannot give what you don't have. So you need to have a very positive self-image about yourself. Your weakness is not who you are. It's something you possess. And God knows that you possess such a thing, and He loves you the same. He does not change the way He sees you. He gave you that weakness on purpose to make you dependent on Him, so that we will not be proud and self-sufficient. So whatever you've discovered about yourself, you need to be comfortable with it. And the next step is to work with what you've got, develop it. But that's a discussion for another day. So for today, I'm just trying to get you to know that on your journey towards self-discovery, whatever you've discovered about yourself that is authentic, that is the truth, that is not what you have formulated or an illusion that you're using to delude yourself, that is real. You really need to get to be yourself, because everyone else is taken. You can't be me. I can't be you. There's no need for me to pretend that I'm you. I'll do the things that I love to do, and you do the things that you love to do. So love yourself and be yourself. Every other thing, comes after that. Even Jesus said, love your neighbor as yourself. That means for you to love your neighbor, you need to love yourself first. You can't give what you don't have. I've said it before, and I'm not the first person to have said it. You must have heard it 1,000 times. So Everything I'm saying here today is not new things. They are not new. It's just like, kind of reminding you of the things you already know. So be yourself. No matter how hard it is to be yourself, you need to have the courage to be yourself. It takes a lot of courage to be yourself. It takes a lot of courage to break out of the identity that people have gotten used to. You have been known to have been a certain way. Changing is hard. You've discovered that you were not really that person, that you were just putting up a show, an act to seem like, or to be who people would have loved you to be, stuff like that. But it's not really servicing your heart. It's not really, it's not really giving you a fulfilling, what I call it, emotion. You don't really, that that's not who you really are, but you've just been putting up that show. You've been wearing that mask everywhere. It does not matter what it is. It could be a religious mask. It could be a whatever. If that's not who you are, you need to start being yourself, because anything that is not of faith is sin. Anything that is not true to you, your convictions, and you're doing it, and you're living it, you're simply living a lie, And you can deceive us. I can deceive you. I can pretend that I'm all good. You can pretend that you're all good, but we cannot deceive ourselves. We cannot deceive God. So, you think about it. It's more rewarding to be yourself. People may judge you. People may say whatever. People will always say stuff. Nobody is perfect. So, carrying that burden on yourself that you need to be perfect before you be yourself is a waste of time. You will never be perfect, so why try? Keep improving, keep doing your best, but perfection is not attainable. Perfection is not attainable. If perfection was attainable, there will be no room for improvement. But as humans, we will keep improving. We'll still keep, bringing up new inventions, new innovations, new ways to do old things, and new things, and new things, if something like that even exists. So, being yourself gives us that will encounter you an opportunity to learn something new, something unique, something that we may have not seen before, because we have gotten used to a whole lot of things that we've been seeing. Almost everybody kind of trying to be the same, perfectish, way. But when you now find your unique voice, find your uniqueness, and you begin to live that life that you're meant to live, you may not even know that people have been observing the changes. It doesn't happen overnight. It starts from within before the changes starts, showing. But people that have been observing are learning also. When they see that change, they knew you used to be this way, but now you're this way, and they can perceive that this is who you really are. It also encourages the next person to embrace himself the way he truly is, and not pretend to be something he's not. So the takeaway from today's episode is you need to be yourself. You need to love yourself, because everyone else is taken. Till next week, stay tuned to the Freedom Podcast. Love you.